Dr. Tara Swart, thank you for joining us
Thanks for
on
having me.
Mind Matters podcast today. Your first question is, you've often spoken about the brain's incredible plasticity. Mm-hmm. How can understanding neuroplasticity empower us to actively reshape our thoughts, habits, and even our future?
Yeah, so neuroplasticity is something that we've begun to understand since we've had sophisticated scanning technology, and we can look at healthy brains rather than try to guess what happens when we see something's wrong in the brain and extrapolate that to how the brain works. So up until about 30 years ago, we really thought that when you stop physically growing around the age of 18, that your brain is then set for life, like your intelligence, your emotional intelligence, your personality. But actually, the brain is actively growing and changing till we're about 25. Okay. And after that, you can keep it flexible by learning new things and doing things differently and being curious and just experiencing new things like different foods and different people. So, but, to make an intense difference in your brain, it has to take quite a lot of effort. So something like learning a new language or learning a musical instrument is going to give you global benefits in your brain of things like being able to regulate your emotions, think flexibly, think creatively.
Yeah, thank you so much. Many people struggle with stress and burnout. I am recently just come out of a burnout. From a neuroscience perspective, what are the most effective daily practices to build mental resilience and protect brain health?
So with mental resilience, I have to start with the foundations, because if we're not doing these things, then the other tips that I could give you, they're not really going to make a big difference. So to be mentally resilient, you need to sleep for 8 hours a night, because your brain cleans itself of toxins overnight, and it takes about 7 hours. And also there's an additional benefit, we don't know why, of having regular sleeping and waking times within a 1 hour window.
Okay.
Next, you have to fuel your brain with healthy food. And the latest research shows that that's having 30 varieties of plant products per week. It can be like a red pepper and a yellow pepper count as two different things, and coffee and black pepper, they count as well as spices. And then also having good fats and hydrating foods, because the brain is made of fat and water, basically. Drinking enough water is also important, because your mental resilience and your concentration and memory rely on you being well hydrated, not being sedentary. So just not necessarily doing formal exercise, but moving around a lot. And then managing your stress, basically. So whether that's breath work, mindfulness, journaling, gratitude practice. And then the easiest tip is magnesium helps you to deal with stress, but it also gets used up by stress. So magnesium supplementation can help with mental resilience.
Thank you so much. I'll be listening to this podcast afterwards. Just write that down. You combine science and practice tools like visualization and manifestation. What does the research actually say about the power of the mind in influencing real world outcomes?
Very good question. So, you've heard the phrase mind over matter, and obviously we're at the Mind Matters Summit. So what we think, how it results in a cascade of hormones and neurotransmitters that absolutely affect our physiology. And basically what we believe underpins our thoughts, and our thoughts underpin our actions. So if you think, I'm not good enough to get that promotion, you won't apply for the job. But if you build up your resilience and you start to take healthy risks, because you won't feel like a failure if you don't get the job, but you'll never know if you didn't try, then you're more likely to get the experience and, the connections that will lead you to get a promotion in future. So it's really about setting realistic goals, but also doing the actions that take you closer to achieving them.
Interesting. Thank you so much. In leadership and high performance environments, how can neuroscience help us make better decisions and stay adaptable in moments of uncertainty?
So in leadership, I always say the brain is the CEO of the body. So understanding that very primal mechanisms in your brain are actually steering the decisions that you make, and if necessary, learning to override them. So for example, one of the strongest gearings in the brain is for avoidance of loss. You'll make 2.5 times more effort to avoid losing something than you will to be getting a reward. that helped us to survive on the savannah. But in business and leadership, we need to be taking some healthy risks. We need to be not so much in fear and stress that we don't, do things that could actually bring us a great reward. So understanding your brain better, understanding emotional regulation, the impact as a leader that you have on other people because they sense your stress levels, and understanding things that, like, the way the brain is wired from evolution isn't necessarily serving you to thrive in the modern world.
Before I ask you the last question, I just want to go back to when you mentioned about water. Is it actually necessary to be drinking 8 glasses of water a day, or is it just a thing that people say?
The way to work out how much water you need is that you should be drinking half a litre of water for every 15 kilos of your body weight. So I need to drink 1.5 litres roughly per day. You're probably the same as me.
Yeah.
But if it's, a 6'4" guy, probably needs to drink more.
Okay, so it's not just a standard blanket 8 glasses. Okay. And if you could leave our audience with one brain hack to immediately boost focus, creativity, or well-being, what would it be and why?
It would, because you used the word immediately, I had to kind of slightly swivel my answer. So I'm going to go with breath work.
Okay.
Because obviously glucose and oxygen are the things that the brain requires to work. And if you need a quick fix, then some deep breathing or some box breathing, or just, paying attention to your breath. Or going outside for a walk so you just get some oxygen. It's really about oxygenating the brain.
Okay. I often think, because I'm a medical doctor, so I often think that when I examine a patient and I listen and I ask them to breathe in and out, I think that's why they feel better, because I'm actually making them breathe.
True.
And be mindful of what they do.
Because stress makes people breath hold and breathe in a shallow way.
Yes. I'm forcing them to take a deep breath. Yeah. But thank you so much for joining us. And it's such an honor to meet you.
You too.
Thank you.